Okay, hi, I'm Paul, part of the team of FxHash. Really excited to be here. It's, I think, our first public appearance. So it's great to have like so many people in here. Maybe as a first question, who of you has minted or like uploaded something on FxHash before? Ooh, that's a lot of people. I like it. I like it. Really cool. Yeah, basically, for those of you that do not know us, we are FxHash. We are a generative art platform based on tezos. We launched into our beta in November of 2021. Basically, we're in the beta for the last 5 months. Yeah, and now we're looking forward to launching our full release, or launching the full platform in the upcoming weeks. So yeah, first of all, maybe since not everybody knows what generative art is, I personally really like this quote by Jason Bailey or ArtGnome about generative art. In essence, generative art is basically art done by code, but done by computer code, at least it is now, and using a certain set of guidelines and introducing random variables to it. And these sort of like random variables basically are what we have at FxHash is called FxRand. And every project that is uploaded has to use FxRand, and it's a sort of like yeah, it's a function that pulls like random strings to it, and therefore all of the iterations are unique. How does that exactly go? And I promise that's the only technical part of it, because I'm also not a technical person, but I'll try to explain it to you as best as I can. So first of all, NFTs or like projects generated on FxHash are not totally on-chain. So they are stored on IPFS, and that's basically where your NFTs live. So how does it actually go? So when a user wants to mint an NFT or wants to buy an NFT, he first obviously has to go to our platform, click the mint button, and then on the Tezos blockchain, a unique transaction hash will get generated. We will then use this transaction hash and sort of like plug it into the code that the artists have uploaded before, and this transaction hash then uses the FxRand function that I've talked about before. And through this, basically the collector or each unique iteration is first like stored on the Tezos blockchain and is like uniquely identifiable, and sort of like that's what sort of like does the magic, because if I mint something, I have a different transaction hash, therefore I do have a different randomly generated output through FxRand, and therefore all of our iterations are uniquely different. And that is also the case why I think personally, or we think personally, that generative art is sort of like the best place for NFTs, and it's like a really good match made in heaven, because it's not just like layering PNGs on top of each other, but rather really just like focusing on the code. But yeah, once you've done this, then you have your unique iteration and everything is minted. So that was the technical part of it. Now I just want to show you some art that we did, because a lot of people don't really know what is done on there or what you can sort of achieve with code. So these are like one of the first mints of first projects minted on FxHash. They are done by Seifert, the lead developer and founder of our platform, who is currently slaving away and trying to build the full release of the platform, which is why I am here speaking now. So yeah, they're like they're called RGBs, also one of the most liked projects on, so far, and yeah, really like going a little bit back with it. Then after this, you see it's like totally different, even though it's all done with code and also all done with like I think P5. Zang can also uses P5.js. So yeah, these are God monolith, and funnily enough, these are like one of the highest paying or like highest grossing one of the highest grossing projects on our platform so far. I think that's roughly these two sold for 9K tezos each. For all of your ETH people, that's roughly 9.510 ETH, or for all of your fiat people, that's like 30,000 euros, which is actually quite a lot. Yeah, these are those. But these are one of my personal favorites. It's a Contrapuntos by Marcelo Soria Rodriguez. Again, I think homaging to musical counterpoints with it. And yeah, I mean, I just really love them. I think the right one is actually mine, so I needed to show my own stuff a little bit. No. Then like another one, Tish by Ruth-Zane, and again you can see always like the difference within the outputs, which is like one of the things that we really like at FxHash. For this talk, I just use still pictures. We do have a lot more, so they're also moving like moving NFTs, like interactive NFTs, sound NFTs, all done with code and all generated randomly. But I was too afraid to put them on my presentation in case I fuck up. So yeah. Again, I think these were like Rutan also joined FxHash like 2 or 3 days after the beta. And what really is amazing, if you go to his projects, you can really see his development as well and how he sort of like got introduced to the community, and now he's like an avid member of the community and is continuously striving to better himself. And then these actually, again, one of my favorites. Unfortunately, I paper-handed mine for like 8 tezos, which I deeply regret now. These are done by, these are basically medieval or like middle-aged secular churches. So the artist, what he did was he looked at blueprints of old middle-aged France churches and everything, and just looked at the logic behind them. So how were churches constructed, and how did people use those blueprints? And then using that logic, he basically coded all of that, and through randomness, now there's like 256 randomly generated churches that have never been built before, but now sort of like live on the blockchain, or live within like the tezos within the FxHash ecosystem. So yeah, we really like that. Yeah, and I think it's just really cool. And then just like another one, like you can really see sort of like the difference in between. And I mean, it's sunny, and probably you can't see it, but the detail on these farb tilers by Eric Swan is like really amazing. Yeah, and then wait. Yeah, no sort of like NFT talk could be done without profile pictures. We do have those at FxHash as well. These are the small schools. They're like really liked within our community, all generated with code, so no PNG layering involved. Funnily enough, at FxHash, there were in the recent times, we do have a lot of profile picture projects that are using our techniques, our algorithm to layer PNGs, because it's really easy. There are tools built by the community for members basically to sketch their own PNGs, then upload them and stack them together. Yeah. And therefore, we do have a lot of PFPs because you don't really need to be a technical person in order to do it. And I think, yeah, these are, well, no, not uploaded on FxHash. These are rather old pictures done by, old artworks done by Paul Klee on the right and Hilmar af Klint on the left. Why did I pick them here? Because I think if you looked at the recent artworks that I've shown you, you can really see the similarities in between them. So it's not really that generative art or NFTs are something totally new. The techniques and the logic behind that the artists are using was basically used like a long time ago. Also, if you look at, for example, Islamic art, like they're doing like a lot of these things within like certain set of guidelines and then introducing randomness. So this has been done before. This is just like the next step. And again, reiterating from what I talked about earlier, this is really about sort of like the perfect match, how generative art and NFTs actually make sense. And it's not just like, hey, let's create an NFT, but rather it's an actual use case for it. Yeah, so this was sort of like the art showcase part of it, and now I'm much more going to talk to you about like what we are sort of like building or what we are standing for. So we think of FxHash as like a layer 0 for generative art ecosystem. As mentioned, we are building on tezos, and we think of ourselves as a layer 0, meaning all of our APIs are like totally accessible. So if you want to build something on top of FxHash, you're free to do so. We do not care. I mean, we do care about it, but basically you can do whatever you want with it. And that is one thing that we have seen so far already. For example, some of you might know it, FxTender, basically being an own curation platform to sort of like help you guys through the sheer amount of projects that have released so far. Because I think in the 5 months that we had so far, I think over 10,000 projects were released, and to actually keep up with that, not possible. I mean, I can't even do it, and I'm supposedly part of the team. Then again, another big thing that we have is we want to be a platform for artists, by artists. What is the reasoning behind that? Basically, our founder, Seifert, basically created or coded his own platform that he always dreamt to have as a generative artist, and especially without any curation part of it. So we do not think of ourselves as being able to curate, to say, hey, you are allowed to upload, well, you are not. We basically say, hey, these are the tools, please use FxRand, please make sure it's generative, and then we do not care about it. So yeah, no curation. As of now, also no funding, because basically from the first day we found initial product market fit and really didn't have to think about funding, because like all of you are so crazy that you're actually happily spending all of your tezos on our platform. And that one part, like community ran, this will be especially bigger in the future when we have our DAO. Our DAO structure. I mean, right now, most of our basically decisions that we have and that we do, we hold polls in our Discord. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but overall it's like a really fun experience. Then some stats, some stats. So as far as volume goes, this is general marketplace volume. So we have, in these 5 months that we've launched, we had 430,000 tezos being transacted on the platform, or if you want to put it in USD, 16.7 million US dollars, which is actually quite crazy for us, because we basically have no marketing at all. It's all organic, and basically it's just that, like the product market fit. Wallets connected, meaning users, it's roughly at 21,000. The snapshot was taken like 5 days ago, so these numbers are probably a bit higher now. And then total projects close to 11K. That number will stay that way until we sort of like are out of the big burn. The big burn was basically us closing down for the beta and not allowing any more mints to happen, because we sort of like need to redeploy a new contract, and therefore currently no projects can get uploaded. Total interactions, roughly at 700,000. Primary mints, meaning like you buy the artwork for the first time. Secondary collects basically means transactions on the secondary market. And then one thing that was actually quite cool that we did together with Vector as well, and some other members of the community, like after the first Ukraine invasion, we basically, together with artists, collected our platform fees and basically donated those to 7 different organizations to help spread the aid. And then these are just like another stat. You see like the graphs are not beautiful. It's all really we do not have like a UI design or a lot of those. Like it's really just like harsh to the bones. You can see our total volume, and you can see that here on the green line, these are the secondary collects. And if you remember, we like the percentage amount is like 20%. 20% secondary transactions, 80% primary transactions, but still these, the secondary transactions has a much higher volume to it. Basically what we think this means is that we do have a really healthy secondary, and like the community actually likes our stuff, and you don't get, so to speak, rugged or anything. I mean, of course, always buy at your own discretion, but even if you do not like it, you can always sell it on. And then basically the future of FxHash, we want to, so basically going back to what we said earlier, building a platform for artists, by artists, we also want to empower the collectors. So what does it actually mean? Right now, collectors can basically buy and sell, and that's pretty much it. We want collectors to also be able to become their own curators, to showcase like what they like and why they like it, to build their own galleries, to really just like further like driving down that point. So yes, enabling collectors to become curators, also enabling curators to become collectors, and with that, one really cool thing that will happen is that what we're also seeing right now with FX Tender, like these curated layers on top of our platform, they actually drive conversion. So for example, if a project gets uploaded or like gets highlighted on FX Tender as like a mintable or like a mintable edition, then like they will sell out much faster. And basically we want to empower all of our users, also the users that are not as technically able to just like code their own website and everything. We want this to be enabled on the overall platform. And then you as a curator can also generate, basically get like a referral fee, so to speak, which is like not a lot, but if you basically get 0.1 tezos for every time somebody mints through your own curated space, that's really cool. At least that's what we think. Also in the future, if you know it, you might have heard that we needed to like delay our FxHash token because the lawyers might not think it's as cool as we do, and basically we yeah, it's a harsh truth. And then basically also this will be compared with the DAO tooling, in which we allow, again, directly on the platform for people to start their own DAO, to buy projects they like, to also sell projects they like, but basically, again, giving the tools at the disposal of the community in order for them to succeed. And yeah, then of course collaboration contracts. Some have already been implemented at like other platforms. We will also have it. And yeah, basically this will sort of like enable artists to do collaborations where they afterwards don't have to send like random tezos amounts to each other, but rather directly on-chain. All of your revenues will get shared. Yeah, and I think that's it. If you want to check us out, this is our address, or you can just like scan the QR code if you don't know about us. Yeah, any questions?
Hi. Hi, thanks for your talk. I'm not sure it's this, yeah, this is on.
No.
Are there any plans to store code on-chain, like art blocks?
Plans, not yet, because, I mean, plans always, but we have not really like thought about this because it was really just like speeding up the platform, because in the first days, like, we were totally overrun. That was also the reason why we had these like closed and not closed windows. So we really were not able to think much more in the future. In the future, yes, I'm sure it will come, but not our focus right now, because we just needed to get like our feet running.
Yeah, I understand, thanks.
But they are already, I think they are already, you can already do that, I think, but I'm not sure. I'm not as technical, sadly.
Hey, thanks for your talk. I'm sorry, I don't have a question, but a comment. I think the talk reinforced it, that your project, you have a wonderful project. The community loves you. I think we have here people from the Hicketnong, Teia, Object.com, Versum, all these communities around that started a year ago, something like that, on Tezos. And I think your project rocks.
Thanks.
And I hope to see, with the lawyers and the tokens, I know the pain that we all have it, who wants to go further. Yeah. But I hope you do like you started, you continue, and you continue to awe us. And yeah, just a love letter from my side.
Really
Thank you.
It. Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, like we and also I really love the Tezos community. I know it's sometimes like been talked down about, but at least the community, top notch.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, I hate to be that guy, but when collab contract?
Soon. No, I think in the next weeks.
Awesome.
So we will do like an official like launch soon. But I mean, I hope I will not die on that hill, but in April for sure.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Do the collab contracts have a minimum or maximum of wallets connected?
What do you mean? That in
like
order for you to use that contract, everybody can use it?
Like can it be, for example, 20 collaborators?
I think so, yes. I'm not too sure, but more than 2 are definitely possible. But yeah, I don't see a reason why there should be a cap on it. Yeah, there.
Do you have any favorite female generative artists that you could
Lisa
recommend?
Orth.
Pardon?
Lisa Orth for me. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
Nice.
then, I don't know, like sometimes Landlines, also female artists. I think not many people know that actually. Yeah, but yeah, we're trying to like give more, like showcase them a little bit more, because it's such a like male, like yeah, male-y space in a way. But yeah.
Are there any collaborations in the pipe? Typically, I'm thinking of 8bido that took a lot of light recently, you know, the pixel art.
Yeah, I know it.
And yeah, I was thinking people are trying to do, some people are doing some generative art.
You mean
in
us
8bido?
collaborating with 8bido?
Yeah, so with 8bido, for instance, but any sort of collaborations with other platforms? Is it something you follow?
Nothing planned as of now. If you want to, like, I'm here, talk to me about it. Like, we are all ears for that sort of stuff. But yeah, I think you can always ask us, and we'll always try to accommodate.
Okay, cool.
Nice. Okay, I think that's it. No, France. Yeah. Yeah, no. I'm actually from Berlin, like Germany. Yeah, cool. Thanks. Was a nice.